What's up, guys? Welcome to part 2 of the story of Flesh and Blood. If you didn't see our first part, I'd recommend you watch it. You don't really have to, but it'll probably give you a little better context. Last thing, too, real quick before we get started, there's like an insane storm going on right now, so if you hear any crazy noises or for some reason the power goes out, I don't think it will, but that's why. It would be kind of funny if the power went out in the middle of the video. But yeah, so don't worry, if you hear any loud crashing and booming, it's okay. So, let me set the scene for you guys. It's mid to late 2022. And things aren't looking good. A lot of the product is collapsing. The world, everything is in turmoil right now. Everything's the ride's ended, right? Now, let me just stress too here. And I think this is the most important thing I can stress in this video. There would be no saving Flesh and Blood. None of this would matter if it wasn't for one main thing. And that's the fact that the gameplay, the game of Flesh and Blood itself, is a phenomenal rule set. It is, like I said, so detached from the whole kind of mana system of Magic, and it is entirely its own game, okay? If I did not believe in the gameplay and the actual vision of Flesh and Blood as a game, we wouldn't be talking about any of this. I just want to stress that right now, okay? For any of you who think, oh, I'm just some evil investor who I just invest in cards. Yes, that's true. But it's because it's actually there's passion, all right? You think I just bought this little Zaku 2 guy because I thought he was red and he looked cool? No. Oh, hi, kitty cat. You think I bought this kitty just because it's a good investment? No. It's because I love this kitty. Now, so that's what I really need to stress to you guys, right? Is I personally think Flesh and Blood is one of the greatest gameplay TCGs there are, and I truly believe that it will stand the test of time, and it is different enough from Magic that they can coexist. So, with that out of the way, it's 2022. We have now Flesh and Blood makes a huge announcement. We're FaB 2.0, right? We're no longer doing first edition unlimited. We're doing one box printing, and we've now got Marvels. Now, let me just also say, as someone who loves collecting beautiful art, FaB Marvels, and even the Fables, but FaB Marvels are some of the most beautiful cards I have ever seen in any TCG. Hands down, it's not even close. The closest thing that's come to it, and some of you are going to completely disagree with it, and some of you agree with it, is I loved the Lord of the Rings poster cards. I know, I'm crazy. But personally, I think the Lord of the Rings poster cards are even the only Magic cards that have even come close to the amazingness and the beauty that is the Flesh and Blood Marvels. And even now, just the majestic full arts. I mean, go look at the cards, guys. The quality, and I'm going to get on a tangent about how much I just love Flesh and Blood. We're not even going to talk about 2.0. But okay, Uprising comes out. 212,000 boxes. Now, I believe there's a quote somewhere from James where I think they knew this was too many, but he believed in the game long term, that he knew that this print run would be enough for the future, and it would. I think they overshot it a little bit, but I think his thought process was correct. I think if he had only printed 100,000 boxes at this moment in time, with them doing the way they were doing, I think it's good that they did this. Now, they could have done 150. I think that would have been appropriate, maybe 175. But with his vision, and it is what it is. It is what it is. I think it's good. I think it's good that boxes stayed this cheap this long, because it's allowed people to get into Flesh and Blood. And that's something I never super believed in. Like, a lot of people were upset with Sorcery. That was another one that kind of came out recently because the box kind of spiked too fast, so people couldn't get into the game. So maybe it's been a beneficial thing for FaB that the boxes have stayed cheap. And let me stress you guys too, 2022, that's about right where I started with Flesh and Blood. And the boxes were so cheap back then, and they still are, right? But the thing was, the boxes were cheap, but the singles sold like crazy. And that's kind of how you knew this was legit, right? Like, you can tell with not fake, but like with hyped up TCGs, it's kind of like the boxes seal, or the boxes sell, but the singles don't really sell. And with FaB, you saw the singles selling, but the box is not selling. And I personally think that's a very healthy sign. That means people are playing it. So this time is when, Everfest, getting Everfest boxes for 50, 60 bucks. They hadn't dropped to 45 yet, but still getting them super cheap. All these boxes super cheap, and actually being able to crack them and sell the singles. So this was still people still were pretty negative during this time, for the most part. Now, you've got Dynasty come out. 168K. I think this is they're kind of figuring out, we need to drop, like I said, that 150 probably would have been the sweet spot. I don't know how you land on 168K exactly. I'm not sure how you hit that number. Maybe they do 175 and they take like 9K out for themselves for events and stuff. I don't know. So, we see a reduction here. Now, let me also preface that Dynasty might be the greatest 2.0 box printed as of yet. These later sets definitely coming close. Miss Veil, Rosetta, The Hunted, they're definitely coming close. But I would say maybe the next 6 sets, Dynasty is by far the most beautiful, well put together set of any TCG. I love it. Now, this is where we need to talk. This is where the real speculation comes in, right? This is where we put on our evil mustache speculation monocles. Outsiders. 169,000. Now, if you've heard me refer to the sacred charts, you're aware that you can go to Google and you can basically look up the FaB print run. I think it goes till dusk till dawn. I don't think they have anything past that yet. But if you look in the left bottom corner, you're going to see a thing that says these numbers reflect all languages printed, right? Now, if you're not aware, Outsiders is where they started printing in multiple languages, and then I think Heavy Hitters one of these sets is when they added Japanese. They didn't have Japanese for the first couple, I believe, and then they added Japanese later, so it was like 6 languages. Oh, that was loud, wasn't it, kitty cat? I told you guys. So, we still got power though. The show must go on. Now, so what you'll see though is that while it says 169K, I speculate that it's somewhere between 80 and 100,000 in English, and then the rest are it's like French, German, Japanese, Spanish, or something like that. So when you keep in mind, like, when you see these two sets and you go, oh, well, there's 1,000 more of Outsiders printed, it's not really true. In total, yes, but for English, it's going to be far less. It's okay, kitty. Sorry, my cat is freaking out. So, just remember that, okay? So that is something why I really like Outside. I promise you, if Outsiders had more than 3 Marvels, it would be way more expensive than it is now. But I do think that that is actually, in my opinion, I think Outsiders might be one of the most undervalued sets. Now, the next set that I think is going to hit over $100, Dusk Till Dawn. Now, this set, I don't know how many have been pulled. Maybe somebody can tell me. They did a special because this was technically the 10th set, right? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it was the 10th set. So they did these like special illustration cards. There was like 10 for, oh, I'm not even going to remember the heroes. There was like 10 for one hero and 10 for another hero. That's why I bought like, I can't remember how many cases I bought. I opened a lot of Dusk Till Dawn. Didn't hit any of those, but I fell in love with the oh my, again, the art and the game, just everything about, I love Dusk Till Dawn. All right, that's just me. I love Dusk Till Dawn. It's probably my second or third favorite set in the 2.0 era. Just the flavor. Also, you know me, I like Monarch. I don't know if you guys are aware, all these guys in New Zealand making this stuff, they all love Diablo, Path of Exile, Lord of the Rings, all that stuff, right? That is like New Zealand. So can we just talk about how amazing New Zealand is for a second? Let's 2 seconds of applause for New Zealand for just pumping out the best content ever. Thank you. Okay, now back to the show. Okay, so let's just talk for a second. Let's think back to our FaB 1.0 sets. We have, you know, let's talk about Everfest, right? Everfest with the 200 whatever thousand. And then we've got, you know, Tales of Aria with the 200,000 and then the 75,000 unlimited. Well, what happens when you go from that to speculatively, let's say 100K? So you're cutting it in half, plus you're adding some really sick new cards to it, right? And that's why you're seeing this newer product reaching new highs quicker than you're seeing this older product. There's significantly less of it. There's a lot cooler cards inside, and a lot of the champions aren't living legend status yet. So that's why, if you're confused, why is this old stuff still so cheap compared to the new stuff? It's because they took heavy, drastic measures. Now, that's not to say that the old stuff will not appreciate. You have to realize how old that stuff. It's 6 years. Some of that stuff's 5, 6 years old now, right? And it's been opened. A lot of it's been opened. So that's just, again, keep all this data in your mind. Now, when it comes to the next sets, we simply just don't know yet. I'll give you some speculation. From what I was rumored, from what whisperings I heard, there was even more reductions happening, supposedly. In my opinion, though, I think we're going to... So I'm going to put some just speculative numbers here on the board for you here. This is purely speculation. But you know what I'm also going to then speculate? I personally think high C's, 200,000. I think so. And I think, but only I think 100K of that English. And I think like 75K is English for this stuff. Again, I have no data whatsoever to suggest any of this. This is me purely just wild, nonsensical speculation. So, I don't know if... I hope you guys can hear this. My goodness. And I'm in the basement. I I don't know if they should release the print numbers going forward. I don't know. It's a double-edged sword, that's for sure. But again, as I said at the beginning of the video, none of this matters at all if the gameplay isn't amazing. Two things before I go. One, are they still doing PvE? Do we just kind of give up on that? Am I not allowed to talk about that? Do we just pretend that didn't happen? Anyway. Two, I still want a Flesh and Blood anime. I'm gonna... Oh, this is crazy. I thought we were about to lose power there for a second. Hey. I apparently that was God telling me we're not getting a Flesh and Blood anime and I need to stop asking. But hey, have a good one, guys, and stay safe out there, huh?